Japan. Japan is awesome. I recently was lucky enough over Christmas to go visit my in-laws that are living in Tokyo. And we spent 10 days in Japan in three different cities. And I kind of had low expectations when I went, but I was floored with how awesome it was. And I just want to talk about one specific way in which I thought Japan was awesome, because there were many, many, many. But Tokyo, a city of 37 million, Japan, a country of about 120 million, the land size of California, which California has 40 million people. So Japan is dense. Tokyo is dense. There's a lot of people in Tokyo. Think of the last time you walked around a city in your neighborhood or downtown Salt Lake or a bigger city, New York or something like that. Did you smell urine? Did you see homeless people walking around? Did you smell filth? Did you see garbage? Probably different extremes, but I was so blown away. Tokyo, literally, it was one of the cleanest cities in the world for being one of the most dense cities in the world. But the other remarkable thing about Tokyo is there you literally almost cannot find a garbage can when you're walking around the streets. There's no public garbage cans on the corner. There's no garbage cans with stuff filling all out of them. There's no ashtrays. There's nothing like that. It's just clean and it's quiet because all the cars have low emission standards and requirements on how old your car can be. But as far as the garbage in the subway, in restaurants, in stores, it's hard to find a garbage can. The culture and the norm there is to just pack out what you packed in. So if you're eating something on the street, you just picked up something, you just keep your garbage. And then when you get home, you separate the recycling. Obviously, you have garbage pickup, but you don't even notice it. I don't know when they do garbage pickup. It's stealth. It's like somehow the garbage just magically disappears. But it disappears because collectively, not just one person, but the majority, if not all of the citizens in Tokyo are taking care of their own garbage. There was also I didn't see any graffiti. I only saw two homeless people, and I'm convinced that they were planted there just to make foreigners feel more comfortable. So I was so impressed by those daily habits and routines that result in just a phenomenally clean city. Now, contrast that to another country that I love a lot. Last year, we were in Sao Paulo, Brazil, and we were in the center of Sao Paulo, and it was a little bit different. There was a lot of graffiti. There was a lot of homeless people. There was a lot of, cages on windows and security guard gates and, a little bit of filth and smell everywhere. And in some ways, like in a lot of ways, I really like that too. There's a part of me that likes the chaos. But when you think about what it would take for Sao Paulo to get to the standard of Tokyo, it would take a major cultural shift, different rules and regulations, and probably a lot of years to get to where maybe it's as clean on a day-to-day basis as Tokyo. Now, some of the nicer neighborhoods of Sao Paulo or Rio de Janeiro, super clean, right? Because there's a standard there that's there. And on the flip side, for Tokyo to get as dirty as Sao Paulo, it would take something really drastic for it to change. So point being is, it's your daily habits and daily routines. So it's not overwhelming for the people in Tokyo to just on a daily basis take their garbage and recycle it at home. But if Tokyo were to be a total filth zone, it would take years, I would think, to get everybody to change their ways to keep it clean. So it got me really thinking about daily routines and habits while I was there, and how it might real estate and be applicable to real estate investing is, I thought of two ways that have given me resistance, heartburn, and a lot of frustration over the years. One of them is related to your personal finances, especially when you're getting ready to apply for a loan. So when I say that, who here, when was the last time you went to apply for a loan, and were you like so excited to go back and figure out your last year's worth of bank statements, your last year, the taxes, your partnership returns, your W-2s, all that kind of nonsense that you need to get to a lender to get approved? How painful is that? For me in the past, it's been very painful. Painful enough where sometimes you decide that you shouldn't do the deal because you don't want to get your finances in order. But think if you had a system and process in place, a really good bookkeeper, a really good accountant, a really good way for document storage, where on a daily or weekly or monthly basis, you're keeping everything updated so that at the end of the year, there's no stress or worry about doing taxes because basically you've been doing them the whole year long. And if you do it a little bit every day and every week, it's not overwhelming. It's very, very simple. So then when that opportunity comes to buy that next awesome building, you don't need to worry about having all your financial statements in order because you'll be ready to just point and click and send everything over that a lender needs. How magical would be as if your personal financial statement, your bank statements, your tax returns, your partnership returns, all of that was organized and set up in a way where all you would need to do is just update the last couple of months worth of stuff and it is set over. Your schedule of real estate, all of that. So what I would encourage myself to do and you to do is maybe think about that analogy and realize that it's really not that hard to do if you set things up the right way. And so that you can just have everything ready to go. Because then what will that give you? Clarity and confidence to do more deals, a better dashboard of what you can afford or not afford, where you're at from a cash position. So staying organized and just being a little bit more intentional about it may help you keep your financial affairs as clean as the streets in Tokyo. The other pain point we've had over the years for sure is, let's say you're doing a lot of flips in a given year or at one time. If you're not keeping track of your books and keeping track of your expenses and your receipts or your budget or how much money you're going to need for the next half of the project, it's going to turn into a half business, which is hard, annoying, lame, and frustrating. And you're going to be losing money and maybe demotivated to do as many projects because you're not on top of it. So have a system and process in place that can keep the streets clean on your flips by, even if it's simple as a spreadsheet of every week, accounting for what was spent where, how it was spent, how it's going to be reimbursed when the loan pays off, who it needs to go to, what category of the scope of work it went to. Was it roofing? Was it what? Keep track of maybe what's coming up next so you can manage your cash flow. It's really easy to get off track. But when you have to go back a month or two or three, or worst case, at the end of the project and try and recreate and put down what was spent and where, it's going to be frustrating. I've seen it be frustrating for money partners. I've seen it be frustrating for the borrower or the flipper. And then I've seen them not do more deals because some of the little things that could have been solved, if you just focus on them on a daily basis, were not, that you just end up giving up on the whole flipping game, when the flipping game itself can be really rewarding, but it all requires effort. I mean, at the end of the day, I think in summary, there's no free lunch. You do got to put in effort, but it doesn't have to be hard. I think you just got to be mindful of it and have a system and process in place to do it. And so may all our financial lives and flip projects be as clean as the streets of Tokyo. Thank you.